Hi, Louisiana Realtors. The 2026 regular legislative session has officially wrapped up, and we wanted to take a few minutes to share with you what it means for you and your business.
That's right. This was a very active session with legislation touching nearly every aspect of real estate, from insurance affordability, transaction transparency, appraisal certainty, and consumer protection, to leasing laws, blight and redevelopment, litigation costs, property taxes, and private property rights.
So let's start with the big picture. Luke, how would you describe the session for Louisiana Realtors?
I would call it a very successful session. Louisiana Realtors secured several major legislative victories, protected our members from potentially harmful legislation, and advanced policies that will benefit property owners, home buyers, housing providers, and real estate professionals across Louisiana for years to come.
Let's talk about the biggest win first. That was House Bill 468.
Absolutely. House Bill 468 by Representative Troy Hebert was Louisiana Realtors' signature legislation this session. For years, residential wholesaling operated in a gray area of Louisiana law. This new law creates a clear framework for how wholesaling transactions can occur, increases transparency for consumers, and gives the Louisiana Real Estate Commission enforcement authority when necessary.
Why is this important for realtors and consumers?
It creates certainty. Consumers deserve transparency in real estate transactions, and practitioners deserve clear rules. House Bill 468 brings both. It's one of the most significant real estate law reforms we've seen in years. This bill will take effect August 1st, 2026.
Another priority that moved across the finish line was vacant residential land disclosure.
That's House Bill 1166 by Representative Kim Carver. This bill addresses situations where buyers discover problems late in the transaction involving access, utilities, drainage, flood risk, or prior property use. The goal is simple. Better information leads to better decisions and fewer surprises at closing.
And Louisiana Realtors will continue working with the Louisiana Real Estate Commission as this implementation moves forward.
Exactly. New forms and disclosures will be developed over the next several months, and Louisiana Realtors will remain actively involved to help ensure the process is practical and workable for our members.
Appraisal issues were also a focus this year.
They were. Louisiana Realtors helped secure two important appraisal-related victories. House Bill 1027 by Representative Troy Hebert clarifies that appraisers should not be held liable for obligations that belong to other parties in a transaction. House Bill 300 by Representative Neil Reiser addresses appraisal thresholds for bank-owned properties. Together, these measures provide greater certainty and fairness in the appraisal process. The pair of these measures will take effect as law on August 1st as well.
Now let's shift to housing and property management issues.
One important measure was House Bill 292 by Representative Delisha Boyd. This new law creates a clearer process for handling security deposit issues when property damage is discovered after a tenant moves out. It provides practical flexibility while helping both landlords and tenants better understand their rights and responsibilities. Property managers can mark August 1st on their calendars too, as that is the date effective for this legislation.
And another bill addressed protections for victims of stalking and cyberstalking.
That's right. House Bill 297 expands Louisiana's early lease termination protections to include victims of stalking and cyberstalking. It recognizes that personal safety sometimes requires someone to leave a residence before a lease expires. That change in law will take effect on August 1st.
One issue we heard about constantly this year from members is the insurance topic.
And for good reason. Insurance affordability remains one of the biggest challenges facing Louisiana homeowners and our housing market. One major victory was House Bill 1187 by Representative Paul Sawyer, which directs an additional $50 million to the Louisiana Fortify Homes program.
This program helps homeowners strengthen their homes and potentially lowers their insurance cost over time.
Exactly. Combined with other funding sources, approximately $80 million is being invested this year in mitigation efforts that can improve market stability and reduce risk.
The session also included several efforts related to blight and the redevelopment of properties.
It did. House Bills 214 and 217 by Representative Chance Henry create new tools that could encourage redevelopment of blighted and derelict properties while supporting neighborhood revitalization. We also supported Senate Bill 180, which provides additional property tax fairness by allowing surviving spouses of disabled veterans to retain expanded property tax exemptions under certain circumstances.
Now, some of the most important work isn't always about passing bills. Luke, sometimes it's about stopping the bad ones that may come forward.
That's exactly right. Louisiana Realtors successfully opposed House Bill 472, a rent stabilization proposal. Research consistently shows that rent control policies can reduce housing supply, discourage investment, and ultimately make affordability challenges worse.
There were also concerns with the hidden fee bills.
House Bill 617 could have exposed real estate professionals to liability for fees that they don't control. Louisiana Realtors worked successfully to exempt real estate transactions from the legislation before it ultimately died. We also monitored House Bill 750 and secured amendments to ensure residential leases, property management agreements, associations, and nonprofit organizations were not unintentionally swept into new regulatory requirements.
As we look back on this session, what stands out most to you?
What stands out to me is the impact. These victories aren't just legislative accomplishments. They create more certainty in transactions, stronger consumer protections, better housing policies, and a healthier real estate market.
And none of this happens without member involvement.
Absolutely. Realtor Day at the Capitol, member engagement, legislative committee participation, and grassroots advocacy all played an important role in these successes.
As this session has come to an end, the work continues for Louisiana Realtors, and now we will focus on implementation, member education, and preparing for the next legislative cycle.
The issues we worked on this year aren't going away. Housing affordability, insurance availability, redevelopment, and property rights will continue to shape Louisiana's future, and Louisiana Realtors remains committed to being a strong voice for our industry and the consumers we serve.
Before we wrap up, we want to thank everyone who helped make this such a successful legislative session.
That starts with our volunteer leaders, our legislative committee members, our advocacy partners, and the members who answered calls to action throughout the session.
We also want to thank everyone who participated in Realtor Day at the Capitol. Showing up and sharing your perspective directly with lawmakers makes a huge difference.
And we're grateful to the legislators, policy leaders, and stakeholders who worked with us throughout the session to advance practical solutions that support housing opportunity, property rights, and a strong real estate market.
Thank you for allowing Louisiana Realtors to represent your business interest at the Capitol.
We look forward to building on this momentum and continuing to advocate for you in the year ahead. For an in-depth wrap-up, please visit our blog at larealtors.org.
And just remember, Louisiana Realtors is always the trusted voice of real estate.